So this is the 24 Ford Raptor R. If you don't know what the R is, it's very special. Maybe they should have named it the Ford Raptor S for special. But anyway, never mind that. It's awesome. And it's very rare, and it has some really cool stuff in it that is amazing how they made this work. Let's start out with the departure angle, because they increased the tire size. So now you have these giant 37-inch all-season, all-terrain KO2s from BF Goodrich. 37-inch tall tires, increased the approach angle to 33 degrees, increased the departure angle to 25 degrees, which is just awesome for something like this. And not only do these things provide so much grip off-road, but they're quiet and smooth driving on the freeway. It's as quiet as a Tesla, this thing, driving down the freeway. It's crazy. And the only thing about these tires, I should say, is if you try to hook a corner like a sports car, yeah, they don't grip. So, and that's the problem, because what's under the hood, which is basically a GT500 Mustang V8 motor, it makes you feel like you're driving a sports car, and it reminds you driving on the street that it's not a sports car, it's a big truck. So you have to be careful not to crash this thing, because it's very easy. Because what makes the R special and different is what's under the hood, which is a 5.2 liter V8 from a Mustang with a supercharger on top that puts out 700 horsepower. 700 horsepower. Instead of the regular V6 twin turbo that normally comes in the Raptor, which was already not a slow motor. So with 700 horsepower and about 6,000 pounds of vehicle, it goes pretty good. I believe Ford says it does 0 to 60 in about 3.2 seconds or something like that, which is crazy that an F-150 this big does that. It's fast. It sounds wicked when you're on it. And it's smooth and quiet, but it does burn a lot of gas. You'd be hard pressed to get 12 mpg driving this thing on the freeway every day, kind of thing. Yeah, it likes to drink a lot of gas, and because it sounds so good, it keeps encouraging you to floor it, which makes the mpg go down lower. But it's a lot of fun, and of course, it's thirsty for the good stuff. You can't put cheap gas in it. It wants the good stuff. What else is there to say other than it's extremely fast, it's extremely capable, and the suspension has been adjusted because now we're getting Fox's double live valves shocks on there, which are even more impressive than before because it floats over anything. You can hit a giant bump, pothole, rock, you can launch, and it's like gliding on air. It's unbelievable. It's actually the perfect vehicle for California's beautiful potholey roads because you don't feel any of them, you just go over them. But other than that, it feels really big, which makes driving it in a small city really difficult because especially with the hump there, it's really hard to see where the corners are of the vehicle, and it's so wide that you take up a whole lane, so you can't really squeeze into traffic or find a parking space and things like that. But I'm sure somebody that buys this thing isn't concerned about that. And if you want to tow with it, it tows about 8,500 pounds or so, which is great. But your gas mileage will suffer if you do so. And tons of room on the inside. And if you go over here, we'll see that we have some graphics on the side here that they added. And these graphics are little number 8s in here, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what the symbolization between number 8 is here, maybe because it's an 8-cylinder under the engine now, who knows, with the V8. But what's interesting here is the way they did the graphics on the Raptor, because the regular Raptor just says Raptor, and this has the R in orange. Now, of course, the first R is orange on the right side, and the second R is orange on the other side, on the left side, which is kind of interesting. And that's kind of one of the clues in how you can tell the difference between the regular Raptor and the R, because you won't see too many Rs. I think there's only a couple, they're only making a couple thousand of these things. But you get 8.5-inch wide wheels on this. Of course, they're fantastic. They look mean and gorgeous. on this. You get your choice of very exciting bright colors. This is actually a really nice shade of blue, but yeah, really nicely done. And if we go back, we can see the tailgate. This back here is your standard Ford F150. It just opens up like anything. It opens up just like a regular F-150 because this is all stock. You still get the tailgate with the step and handle that you do get in a regular F-150. This is dirty because it's the truck's in mud. The only downside is you get a very short bed here. You don't get as big a bed as I would like for hauling stuff, but instead you get tons of room on the inside. The back seats is hugely spacious, so that part's nice. And you also get a port here for 400 watts of gear that you can plug in to get if you want 110 volt power at 400 watts. So that part's really nice, which is also understandable because good stuff costs money and these things are not cheap to make. These things it's a $30,000 option over the regular Raptor, which is already pretty expensive. So by the time you're done with the R package like this one, you're looking at about a $110,000 truck. So these days that may not seem like a lot to a lot of people, but it's still a lot of money, but it really is nice. So hopefully if you ever get your hands on one, get to drive one because they're awesome. And this motor is sweet. It makes it so much fun to drive.